fun?
Yes, it
Question mark,
was.
exclamation mark, question mark.
We had a returning old friend. We have a new friend. Or rather, a person who's clinging to your group for safety. Mads acquired something rather lucrative that she passed over very quickly to her little koboldy friend. After surviving a rather hastily put together ambush under the guise of children playing, the party is now power walking in the other direction before the guards show up. And that is where we shall pick up. So, to quickly clarify, Peachy decided he was going to meet up with the rest of the party later, as he had his prisoner to deal with, taking the Kenku that had been slung over his back like a cape off to be incarcerated and interrogated. Leaving you now hurriedly walking through the streets. So, Mads, as you're leading the party, what do you do?
We need to get back to the tavern right now. We need to get somewhere safe, somewhere quiet, somewhere secure. Do you know if Penfold put in the security things?
I believe he did, didn't he?
He did, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's already done that, sweetie.
Let's get back there now. And then, oh, sweetie, could you also prestidigitate us?
Yeah, good idea. We're still like waist high and shit. Don't wanna draw attention to ourselves.
You're always beautiful, even no matter what.
Thanks. So yeah, big old strum of the loot. Poof! Everyone is clean.
Alright, I was gonna say Bing's gonna resist.
Well, if you want, doubly clean.
Yeah.
And also I need to check in with the herbalist.
Well, I reckon our first port of call is getting home first. Then that could be dealt with. Is that okay, sweetie?
Yeah, but she bends down and whispers in Rascal's ear.
To be honest, I need to rest myself.
Rascal's ears instantly shoot up. His eyes go wide. Alright, yeah, fair enough. I totally understand that. We'll get near home and we'll part ways at the herbalist. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay, I know you can take care of yourself, but as soon as you're done there, get back to the tavern straight away.
It's just across the street. I'll be alright.
Yeah, all the same, I don't think there's anywhere safe in Waterdeep right now.
Especially
No, not for us.
Not with
Sure.
things
We all
going
know
on.
Ashward. We know Ashward.
Yes, I know. I know we all know.
Thank you, Ashford. Let's just get going.
Deep breaths, sweetie. We'll get through this.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking. I was so focused on.
Don't blame yourself.
She trails off. I pretty much don't have anyone else to blame, Ashward. Let's go, everyone.
Okay.
If she wants to blame the goodness in her heart, I'm not going to tell her not to.
And
Goodness tries us to do hasty things. I mean, I nearly killed myself in the attempt.
Yes, but still, is it not worth it?
and what is Nola doing? Are you sticking with these strange people?
Nola is kind of scratching her head, looking around, shrugging, and kind of pitter-pattering behind them. Pitter-pattering partly because her shoes are not entirely matched.
And does Mads notice this when she looks around all furtively?
Probably.
Yeah, you two hostage. Come on, Lala, let's go.
Yeah, my name... But, okay.
Believe me, it's best not to argue with her.
I'm bad at arguing.
And Astrid, I believe it's always worth it, so... Yeah. But
Okay. So, while the others hurry back to the tavern, what is it you go to do, Mads?
She is heading to the herbalist shop to see if she can have a little conversation with them.
Okay.
be back as soon as you're done.
I don't want to be away from you right now, honestly, but I'll be back.
Oh. Do you want me to come with?
Yes. She very badly wants you to come with, but she's not saying it.
Okay,
Can you insight it, or what? I don't know how that would work, Jonas.
Sure, go ahead.
He isn't saying it.
Oh, I have to insight? Very well.
Well, she's not saying it out loud.
Okay. With that, you're not entirely sure what's going on, other than something is worrying her. She won't say what.
Well, he told her what. If she told him what was worrying her, it's exactly the same thing I told you, Jonas.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's just make it quick. Everyone else, I recommend just convening in the common room and we'll be right with you.
Alright.
And, keep an eye on things in the tavern, check up if anything's been going on. You know, people could just slip right in and Ygritte and the others don't know what they're looking out for.
I'll
Common.
I'll put a word in.
I'm very common.
I'll let them know.
And, make the lady comfortable. She seems like she's in a bad way.
Yes,
give her
she's
stuff.
very pale.
I'm very normal.
I love the distinction. It's just like, I am normal.
I like to think in any other case we'd be like poking and prodding, but because we're all like kind of high stress right now, it's just kind of like letting it hang for a few moments and just go, yeah, sure, okay.
If you say so, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, hello, I am real human. Would you like to go skateboard?
How do you do, fellow humans?
How are you?
Lieutenant, you man, sir.
Alright, I believe we have a herbalist to see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
That you man's a real go-getter.
I'm forgetting
I
something.
have no idea what you're talking about, Bing, but I have no time to discuss it.
So, I will say, as the others arrive back at Rascal's Rendezvous, Mads, you go and speak to the herbalist, who's going to very quickly run a medicine check on you.
Yes.
Okay. She looks you over, and do you give her much detail about what happened and where you were and what you were doing?
She gives her exacting detail on the circumstances, but not the place. It ended up being with us. I was up to my tits in shit. Literal shit. In the sewers. It was disgusting. Some of us are shorter than me. It was not great. And I suddenly, about halfway through, realized, oh, I should probably, yeah. So I'm really worried.
Okay.
And she doesn't say, like, oh, and underneath the hat shop, looking for the billions of gold.
I just realized I
She does
forgot
not
to change
say.
the map away as I was setting up the tavern. So now everybody saw me set up the tavern really quick. Anyway, so after you describe what happened, you can see the lip kind of curl of this individual. It's just like, ew, but customer service, yeah.
And Mads gives, like, her best empathy to, like, yeah, I know. There was no other choice.
Okay.
I did it for love. You understand?
I would recommend perhaps taking some precautionary method. I'm sure there's no real danger, but perhaps a little precaution wouldn't be well out of the way. And she goes and starts rummaging through her stock. And then she comes back with this almost sickly looking green liquid in a bottle and sets it on the counter. Says this would be more than adequate of safeguarding against any unpleasantness. You would.
Is this, by the way, I just need to ask, is this made by the Great Wizard Odwalla?
No.
And she just nods her head and says, yeah, okay, enough. Do you have enough for my friends too? Just in case.
Let's find out how much she has. Where's my D6? It's hiding.
I really appreciate your discretion in this. I know I've put a lot on you, and thank you.
Sadly, I only have 2 of these potions. I could give them to you both for 10 gold apiece.
Rudolph? This is our friend Rudolph. Rudolph? And I forget the name of the herbalist.
As have I.
Oh, it's okay. Herbalist Rudolph. And then she takes out,
name here.
she takes out 30.
A moment, and I will tell you exactly who it is. Herbalist.
The name is Herbert List.
No,
She's
It is
Dr. Isley.
Fala Lefalier.
Yes. And I will
I would
accept
put
no
it
other
to you,
here.
this elf is actually pretty androgynous. You don't know what they are. They never introduce themselves with any gendered terms.
Yes.
So you have no idea
And,
what they are.
And she says, she goes 30 gold, Rudolph, and I hope someone will knock off 30 gold from the money. And she gives the extra 10.
Receive, ma'am.
And she gives the 30 gold over and says, and if you find any more, could you send a note my way to the tavern?
Well, it'll take me some time to brew extras, but once I do, I suppose I'll give you a drop by, perhaps? Leave a note?
Thank you. Thank you. There'll be something nice waiting for you when you do.
Just the eyebrow raises. It's like, all right.
It's a tavern. It's a tavern. Dinner, wine, whatever. Right, Rascal?
Aye, and our eternal gratitude for all you've done for us already.
Yeah,
Oh
also
my
that.
god, where did he come from?
Oh, I've always been here. Kobolds are like sneaky folk. Stealthy.
It legit forgot you went
Just-
with
Full on, like distracted love looks from to Rascal at that.
Okay, so,
I've just been enjoying the smells of your fine establishment.
yes, well, it is rather fragrant, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
Mads, add 2 potions of cure disease to your inventory.
I don't think we need to, because she is going to take hers right away, and then she's going to give the other one. Go, Rascal, drink.
He's not gonna object to that, he's gonna drink it right away.
Yeah, and she's going to drink it right on the spot. Thank
They
you.
taste foul.
Ugh. I almost prefer the rocks and bones from back in Calimport. Almost.
So yeah, we both drink it down.
Alright. And as you turn to leave, you notice that the elf has gone over to a corner and got himself a little squirt bottle and is now kind of gently spraying it in the air. Just a
Thank you,
waft
we'll
of a
be back.
floral scent follows you out of the shop.
Thank you. We'll be back.
Okay. So,
Okay, I feel better now. I feel more confident, but we should probably tell the others that they might want to go find something somewhere else.
Sure, I reckon it's worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Though Bing will probably be fine. Oh yeah, mostly because he wasn't even there.
Yeah. I just mean for Hunter and Ashward. Hunter and Ashward mostly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No worries. We'll let him know.
So, meanwhile, back at the tavern, Nola, as you approach this building, you notice a few things about it. One, it looks like it has been very recently renovated. The paint is fresh, the wood is freshly sealed. It's pretty lively inside. You can hear music, you can smell delicious food cooking, wafting through. You also notice next to the door is a rather large, hunched, canine-like figure, currently in the process of dragging a dwarf out the door by his beard.
Is that a gnoll?
Yes, it is.
Do you have any problems with that?
No, I'm just. I heard they can crush I don't know why I'm bringing it up. Never mind.
Well, they might be able to crush bones, but I assure you, Ygritte is one of the friendliest ones that we've come across.
Stay out! As a dwarf sails over your heads and crashes down into the mud behind you.
Well, unless you are completely drunk off your arse, that is.
Thank you, Ikrin.
Oh,
Hi!
By the way, Ashward, Hunter, you guys may want to head into town at some point and pick up some disease curatives. We checked in with the herbalist, and they suggested that was a
Well, if you give me a chance to rest, I can probably take care of any disease.
Oh, you can do that, Bing?
Yeah, kind of thing paladins do.
I thought paladins were just immune to diseases themselves.
No, it's like how we can do the lay on hands thing and heal people that way. Kind of do the same thing with diseases.
Ah,
Well, then
neat.
you may want-
There we go. Problem solved.
You may want to check on all of us. But them first. We should prioritize
Well,
Hunter and
I need a
Ashward's
good
health.
night's. I can only really do it a couple of times per day. You know, kind
Yeah.
of need to rest between
Oh,
uses.
this
Don't
tavern
worry.
is fantastic for resting, trust me.
And I can't really do that now because I used all of my healing powers during that fight.
very
And I
good.
appreciate it very much. I don't know about the rest of you, but I am starving. I need to get inside.
Well, Ygritte, if you see anyone who's a little bit suspicious, would you mind let us know and not let them in?
Suspicious? In what way?
Well, brandishing knives, being gnolls that are trying to disguise themselves as children, you know, the usual.
When you said brandishing knives, she like points over your head towards the dwarf in a crumpled heap. He did.
Okay, I see.
And Mads climbs the stairs and says, Ikrin, can I give you a hug?
Okay. It's like holds out her arms awkwardly.
friendly pat hug from Mads. You are wonderful.
You
Then
can
she
see her
heads
tail just
inside.
ever so slightly start to wag.
She heads inside and she oh yay! She heads inside and heads to go up to the wherever to get herself some noms.
Oops, Gordain suddenly teleported across the thing.
Yeah, I saw
Let's say this table has been cleared.
Yeah. She sits down and goes, that was a day.
After you, Miss. No, what was it? I'm sorry. I'm afraid we weren't properly introduced.
Oh, I'm Nola. Nola Skeletor.
Well, Miss
French.
Skeletor, it is my pleasure. I'm Ashmont Gambletoes. Please, after you.
Thank you. I've done this before.
I never doubted that.
Good.
Out of curiosity, Jonas, what time is it?
It would probably go into early evening. You have pretty much the dinner crowd. A lot of the people in
Right.
here now are currently eating. You can hear the caterwauling of your cacophony of cooking kobolds.
Yay!
Alliteration!
Cooking kobolds, yes.
That just came out of my mouth. I didn't even plan that. And you can see like the slight, almost animated dust cloud coming from the kitchen as you hear them shouting back and forth at each other. Dave is running around with plates stacked about on his tray. Gordain seems to be dealing more with warmer drinks, like your coffee, warm milk, rather than the alcoholic ones at this stage of the day. But your tavern is pretty loud, pretty lively.
Good. Ygrin, aside from that dwarf, have you had to throw anyone else out today? Any other troublemakers?
Yeah,
What were they like?
being mean to Dave.
Well, I'm certainly glad you threw them out in that case.
No one mean to Dave.
No,
Dave
there's
nice.
no excuse for that. Very nice. Sorry you can't be more specific about what trouble you should be looking out for tonight. It's just we went past a couple of taverns on the way back here and the crowd seemed extra rowdy tonight. They might make their way here, you know?
Festival goers.
Exactly.
Some here earlier getting food for little ones in masks. Very cute.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this festival. Someone give me the lowdown?
I think you might actually be better off asking Gordain about it.
Maybe so.
Yeah. That's Gordon.
Alright. Thanks, Ygrin. You do good work.
Ygrin has to do a very important job.
That's true. She's got to be keeping an eye out. And not giving me an education.
Education important.
Boy, you're telling me I didn't have one at all till a few years ago. Ooh.
She seems
That's
very
impressive.
proud of the fact that she can write her full name.
She should be proud. How long did it take you to do that?
Long time.
Certainly longer than me, I'd wager. Wait, that came out wrong. Certainly quicker than me, I'd wager. That came out backwards! How dare my stupid brain betray me!
She didn't get it.
Good.
She's kind of looking over your shoulder at the dwarf who's slowly picking himself up, and she's just like doing that thing, you know, like where dogs suddenly turn and look at something with great intensity and their ears prick up. She's just kind of doing that now at this dwarf, and the dwarf is like, fuck, I'm out of here.
Bing is just going to kind of take his lyre out and do a little bit of a strum.
Okay, full performance.
Oh no.
Oh, great. Stop the caterwauling.
Kabong!
He has
No
a few
kabong!
bad notes and then just goes, nah, not my night.
It's not the time for it
Only
right
a
now
D100.
anyway, Bing. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, great. You're scaring away the crowd.
Okay. As you go to start plucking at your lyre, you catch your claws just ever so slightly at the wrong angle, and you snap one of your strings.
Well, that's a shame. It's a beautiful instrument.
Yeah, my lady gave it to me.
Well,
My lady gave me my lute. Do you need help restringing it, or are you good?
No, I should be okay. I've restrained a few times already. Must be a little distracted or something.
Yeah. Right now, if Matt has gotten her sandwich, I reckon we should head to the common room.
I agree. I'll just let Gordain know that we're upstairs, and shall he send our friends up with some food?
If they're okay doing that, I wouldn't say no to a meal.
Yep.
Yeah, you can definitely have food brought up to your common room.
All right, so I'll let Gordain know that, and
Okay. You
And,
place your orders with Gordain and move upstairs.
And I will also note, Mads does tell Gordain, just a little reminder, things are a little wild out there right now. You might want to be on the lookout for anybody who doesn't look like they belong, okay?
So I have
Festivals
an
always
important-
bring out the
Sorry,
ones
you first.
who are mad. Don't worry.
What did Gordain say?
Festivals always bring out the madness in a few people. Don't worry.
why
got
am I
my
sitting
eye
on the
things.
table?
Thank you, Gordain, and thank you for this. And then she, like, the sandwich, and then she, like, moves off to the common. Bye, everybody.
Are you sitting
So-
on a table so you can look everybody in the eye?
Well,
Mads, by the way, is eating her sandwich like a pig. She is just disgusting. She is like,
She's going ham on it,
someone is
huh?
very hungry.
what'd you say? What'd you say?
I have a very important matter to bring up. We have a civilian with us. At least someone who we still think of as just a civilian.
Oh, Mads is getting to that.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I just kind of followed you guys up.
Yeah. So, and meanwhile, so like the whole thing I was building up to. Did you say something, creature?
Oh, it just was just asking if she was going ham on her sandwich.
Oh. She's just like, then she stops with like juice dribbling off her chin, and she looks over at Nola and says, "Yo, Lala, what's your story? Wait, if you don't tell me, I'll give you one. Let's see here. I know.
Mads.
What? I was gonna give her a story.
Well, why did you give her a chance to tell us her story?
Okay, I'll tell you mine later. We'll see which one is better.
I was just in the neighborhood minding my own business, and then there was that bird guy, and she snatched me, and then I was in the tower, and I think you've seen the rest.
Oh,
That about sums it up.
you're from the whole story. Sorry, what were you saying, Rascal?
Well, that about sums it up. That's what I said.
Oh, see, I mean the whole story. Like, you're a princess who needs to find a husband by the end of midwinter, or the guy who makes dog coats gets the kingdom. You're in disguise in Waterdeep looking for the perfect man, and then she gestures to Rascal and says, "Not this window, he's mine."
I love that story.
I'm not in disguise. I've never been in disguise. I've never been in disguise in my entire life.
Hang on. Ashwood is starting to pick up. I think Ashwood might actually be picking up on something.
And then
A
she
little
says,
bit of insight.
While that's happening, Mads says,
Hey.
But you are a princess, right?"
Ashford, with that role, you get the feeling that Nola is probably disguising her actual identity, probably more because she's wanting to start a new life more than anything else.
I'm just first I think I was born, and then I ate food, and I grew up from that, and then I was an adult, and
You know, Mads, I don't think she needs to tell us the whole story.
Bing's gonna insight that.
Insight Bing or Nola?
No.
She's being intentionally vague. This is something she does not want to talk about.
He
yourself.
just for his own sense of just for his own sense of mind, he's just gonna briefly burn one of these.
Okay, bear with me. You don't get any detected sense of any good. However, you do sense a strong evil presence coming from Rascal.
Ooh.
Bing kind of raises an eyebrow and looks towards Rascal.
What? Did I forget to prestidigitate a piece of shit off me?
No, it's something else.
Something important?
No, it's something we'll have to talk about later. Don't worry about it.
Very well.
I think not worrying about things is a great idea.
Well, you seem to worry about a lot of things, but I would say you are among friends in a way.
I had a lot to worry about when I first arrived here, and I understand wanting to leave something behind. So the question is,
Me too.
Nola, what can we do for you? I mean, you've been hanging around us for a while now, so I don't think you got much
A
else.
a little bit. Don't forget, it was about a few hours.
It's been nobody's told me to stop following you, so I just kept on going.
Well,
If that was wrong, I apologize. If it
No, it's fine.
it is perfectly fine.
okay, that is good. Coincidentally, I don't have home so much right now.
Ah,
It's a long story. But it's a very normal story. So, would you mind if I?
Don't try to explain everything as normal. There's a lot of things that aren't normal in this world.
Yeah, sure. If you maybe have some kind of utility closet that I could maybe stand in overnight, like a normal person.
oh, you can have Vyzan's old bed.
Oh, that's great. Who's Wyzan?
That big bold dude full of bullshit.
Does he not need it?
Nope.
He is currently in the employ of the city, so they should be offering him bed and board.
Yes, and he has other employers that he can have bed and board from as well.
Don't mention them.
Oh, it's great.
Seems like we're caught in their crossfire.
I imagine it's great when you have the choice between a bed and a board to sleep on.
Okay, I take it that common is not your native language, then, when you are getting that mistake.
Sure, yeah. That's my native language is different.
Yes, I imagine.
Be in Busy's room as long as you like until you feel comfortable.
Yes, and
You might want to
don't
go
need
check it out.
And you don't need to stand in it. You can rest on the bed. I mean, that is what normal people do.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. I'm very touched. And she makes a motion like wiping a tear away off her definitely very dry cheek.
Bing, he's gonna try and he's gonna try and he just goes, "Don't worry, Nola. Just go and rest your weary bones."
Who said something about bones? I never had any bones.
No.
We all have
It's an expression.
Wait.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Wait, what?
I mean, I have normal amount of bones.
You go have a rest. Who's going to show her the room?
Bing is gonna give Nola a slight nod, as if to say, "Don't worry about it. I know, but I'm not saying anything."
Look, thank you.
If no one else is gonna do it, I'll show the lady to her new residence.
I thought Ash would just start to do that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Ashford's doing it.
All right. Yes, well,
Yeah, No,
Go for it, Ashford.
He's looking at Mads in a mixture of confusion and amusement. Well, if you'd like to follow me.
Of course, yeah, sure. That's it's like a normal.
And he leads her to the...
Remind me, which room was Vizan's?
I don't think anyone really remembers.
No.
Hang on. I should be able to tell you fairly quickly if I
What is
find the...
player notes?
Is it the one with all the hay?
Hang
I
on.
think he had one with a balcony, didn't he?
No, the balcony... Well, it is a combined with the master bedroom with the balcony. One floor up. Master bedroom, private bar. On the 3rd floor.
Ah, okay. I see which
No,
one it is.
that
I
was,
believe that was
Hunters.
it. Pardon?
That was Hunter's top floor.
I
Didn't
believe
Hunter have the other one?
this one down here was actually Vizan's.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay.
There we are.
Yeah, okay.
Because
Yeah,
Bing,
that one,
Bing and
yeah.
Hunter are on the top floor.
Yes.
And Rascal in the attic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna remove the doors on this level.
Yeah, I don't think we'll really need them.
There's a very, very nice. That's maybe the nicest room I've ever had in my life.
We almost...
For simplicity's
Tom?
sake, there you are.
There we are. Anyway, this is your room. If you need anything, just feel free to let us know.
Oh, thank you very much. That is very, very generous of you, and I won't be any trouble at all. You will barely know I'm here. Thanks. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. What the hell is the deal with this lady?
She's
Is
very
what's going-
private.
Extremely.
Hmm.
Well, and her wit is as dry as bone.
Bing is going to look to Rascal and he's going to kind of whisper, "Hey, Rascal.
What's that?
You haven't picked up anything unusual, have you?"
You know I have. And Rascal just like rifles through his backpack and pulls out the Stone of Galore that's still wrapped up in his clothes and puts it on the table. One Stone of Galore.
Would Bing be able to tell if that's where the sense of evil's coming from, or
How long does your divine sense last?
last a talk?
Oh,
It just says it's an action, so 6 seconds tops.
Hmm.
You don't know. Your divine sense is faded by now.
Okay. Bing's gonna crack another one just to check.
Okay. Yeah, the presence of evil, although still in Rascal's direction, it has shifted slightly from where it was before, so you get the feeling it is probably the artifact. That other sense has also moved further away.
Oh, Bing already knows that, and he's gonna keep stum on it. Ah, well, this thing is definitely radiating some pretty bad vibes.
Can't say I'm entirely surprised. Rainier said all the way back when that this stone has an intelligence in it, a creature, so it's sentient.
Oh, well, that's good.
Hmm.
and it's probably an arsehole given how you are looking right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Cracked open one of my, well, you know how paladins can sense good, evil, undead, fae, etc., etc. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely getting the bad vibes off this little doohickey.
So here's a question, everybody. Should I handle this? I mean, I'm, you know.
Mad, sweetie, I love you, but we both know that you're not the best at retaining information or handling a conversation.
not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Yeah, also, those guys in the alley kind of know that you had stone, so last thing we
Right.
want is to paint an additional target on your back.
Look, all I gotta do is attune to it, have a conversation, get the information, and then we could just shove it in the vault.
I'm just saying, what if it, and then she suddenly looks down at herself, gets a sick look, like she's disgusted by something, and then she, like, looks back up and raises a hand and kind of gestures away and says, no, I shouldn't go near it.
Insight! Oh, for God's sake, Rascal, you're better at this!
Oh, I think Rascal would, I'm gonna send him a...
She's hurt that
Besides-
you didn't think she could handle it.
No, that's not, I'm sending you the message.
That's what Rascal gleamed.
Oh, okay.
Besides,
With that
we
insight.
may need the stone. I don't know exactly what the arrangement is with this stone, but for all we know, this could be a key.
It
Or
most
it could
likely
lead to
is.
keys.
Well, then
Problem
who-
is-
All we know is this leads to the location of the vault. Every
How
kill.
should- Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, from there, we're just taking it one step at a time. No point overthinking it. Just gotta talk to whatever's in the stone.
Well, I recommend after we do that, we go and see Mert.
Oh yeah.
Who of us should talk to it, though? Not
Well,
you. Not you.
Why not me?
I think I'm the most
to
disposable
be
one.
fair, given what it could be anything in there.
Right.
So very persuasive may be the best option.
Ta-da! Kobold
Damn.
Bard.
And if necessary, I do have a that can somewhat bind it, or
Maybe
very
you
least
should do
try
it,
and keep
Bing.
No, we need being on the outside in case it goes bad.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, he's the only one here with holy powers.
Bing. You'll take care of Rascal, right?
Of course.
And he's a kobold.
I'm-
Kobolds look out for each other.
Dang straight.
Yeah.
Kobolds
Okay.
don't only look out for each other, they look for their brothers and sisters.
Well, yeah, I mean, my kind really kind of depends on it. I have to tell you all about it sometime, the great story of the Manticore Slayer.
Oh,
Mad sweetie.
that- Sorry, go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, you first.
I was just gonna ask Jonas, was the Manticore Slayer in the play?
Oh, you bet he was.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
she
was.
goes, "Oh, I love that part in the play."
So,
Above game.
yeah, I forgot
Above
about
game. Above game. I would like to let you know that as the DM of the Tyranny of Dragons campaign, although we cut it short, there were several times I was going to throw a manticore at you guys, so eventually you would have actually fought one. Okay, now back in this game.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, I know you're worried and I know you're looking out for me and don't want me to be in danger, but I am the supposed leader of our little troop. So this is something I gotta do and take on myself. And I
Magic
got you all here to look out for me. So I'm not
Magic-
scared.
is looking at Rascal with just this absolute, like, heartbreaking love.
Oh.
He's just like,
that's my husband.
pretty much. Oh my god, is that what I sound like to you all?
Maybe.
sometimes.
No, she's just like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. She's like, that's my husband.
Oh. And you're my
Okay.
wonderful wife.
So, what do you do?
Well, I believe attunement takes a while, like an hour, doesn't it?
It takes the equivalent of a short rest of you concentrating on the item.
Yep.
Okay.
Mads is going nowhere. She is staying by Rascal. Unless he sends her away.
No.
I like how we're at opposite ends of the table, like a British married couple in a movie. Would you pass the Grey Poupon, please?
Well, if you prefer.
I mean, that is why we have the Hornby set.
So I would say
You have a
around
little
this
bicycle?
time, before you get started, Dave comes up, brings you your food, gives you a basic rundown on how the business is going. People are coming in for the evening drinks. There's a lot of people, a lot of Trolltide kids running around in the alley. But after a quick conversation, he departs. You have your meal, and you eat. I would assume in relative silence while Rascal focuses on the stone.
Yep.
Rascal, this stone, it's fairly sizable. In a human hand, it would fit just oversized the palm. In a kobold hand, it's bigger than your hand, so you have to sit and hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
As you focus on this item, I quickly have to look up something with the stone. Bear with me. I had the page marked, and then I lost it. God damn it. As you focus on this item, you can feel the arcane nature of this artifact. And the longer you focus on it, the more you can start to sense something about it. Faintly at first, you feel almost something throbbing. At first you think it's just your own heartbeat on your fingers as you're clutching this item, but then you start to think there's another one, a small pulse that's just slightly out of tempo of your own heartbeat. Bump, bump, bump. Just getting stronger and stronger, and soon it starts to line up with your own heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
This is tense.
As your vision, it doesn't quite cloud. It's more, you find yourself just slipping out of focus, as if into a daydream. Come on. Okay. Your eyes slip out of focus as if into a daydream. You can feel for lack of a better word, the life force of this magical item. As you look at the 3 carved eyes in the stone, you could have swore you saw one blink, even though you know it didn't move. In your mind's eye, you sense these 3 eyes turning their attention to you. After a moment, you get a sensation of something stretching its limbs that had been long confined. Something waking up. Rising from a long sleep. And you feel as though you're being surveyed. I would like you, first of all, add 1 point to your AC.
Ooh. Ding.
Secondly, as the rest of the party watches, Rascal's vibrant red scales begin to dull. The color seemingly losing its saturation, until sitting before you is a small stone grey kobold.
Holy shit.
His eyes glaze over, almost in a film, with a piercing, vibrant emerald green that matches the stone in his hand.
I will say, at that moment, sorry if this messes anything up, guys. Mads reaches out to try to take one of Rascal's hands into her, like wrap her hands around it, not messing with him because she knows better than that. She's not stupid. And she goes bing, bing, bing.
Don't worry, I'm on it. I'm ready. In case this gets a little bit too dangerous, I'm ready.
Ready for what? He's changing color.
Rascal, you are entirely aware of what is going on around you, although you haven't realised that you've changed colour just yet until Mads goes to take your hand, and then you realise that the hand that you have been staring at is now grey.
Can I do anything?
You're not stunned or anything.
Okay, guess I'm just gonna say, so I see I'm grey now, but aside from that, I feel fine.
You feel hardier.
I do feel tougher, though.
Mads, with you touching his scales, the scales on the back of his paws, they're not as soft as they used to be. These are a little coarser.
You feel strange.
Yeah.
What's going on, Bing?
I'm no magical user, but I think it might be the stone.
I asked Bing.
Bing is
He's
gonna
like scared.
Bing's gonna do a quick examination.
Roll medicine check.
Come on, medical lizard.
Holy shit.
Excellent. Okay.
Nice.
As you examine Rascal, getting a little bit too invasive, going and pulling his eyes wide apart to look at him, tapping his legs, poking at his new scales, checking his tail. Before you is a perfectly healthy adult kobold male. Just with odd colorations.
Huh. Well, doesn't look like there's anything actually wrong with him, just like he has a new look and a little bit of extra protection.
I don't like it.
Aww.
Not you, sweetie. Not you, sweetie. Things changing you without your permission. That's what I don't like. You're beautiful.
I hear what you're saying, but I made the decision to use this thing. So I have to
Right.
accept the consequences, and this is evidently one of them.
I love you. I just don't like things changing you without you saying so.
Well then, we're not going to get along at all, are we? Only Rascal heard that.
So Brassel's gonna instinctively look towards the stone, because... Yeah.
You look towards the stone, and again, the stone is completely inanimate. However, in your mind's eye, you can sense it lazily blinking at you.
Mads, by the way, is tentatively letting go of Rascal when that happens.
Are you galore?
No.
No?
That was a name given to the stone. More to annoy me more than anything else. I don't have a name.
Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
Beyond names. Older than names. The fact that I am here is a little bit insulting, but sadly I am bound. But you are new. Interesting little creature, if I've ever seen one. I do hope you don't mind me toying with your looks. It's been a long time since I've been allowed to express myself.
Well, variety is the spice of life, as they say. No, I don't mind too much. I certainly don't mind feeling a bit hardier, given everything that's been going on lately.
Yes, well, there are benefits and disadvantages. Let's just say I'm rather interested in learning new things. It's hard to do that when you're dead. You're more useful to me alive.
Oh, I'm rather hoping we'll be useful to each other.
Perhaps.
Well,
I do
a lot
have
of
to
folks.
say, though, your friends are staring at you. They can't hear me. They can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Magical bullshit 101, I suppose. Should have expected that. And Rascal just turns to the party. Yeah, I'm talking to the entity inside the stone. I think he's inside me now. That would explain the new color job.
No, I'm not in Yuda. I'm
Okay.
confined to the stone. Your little makeover was just me having a little fun. If you give up the stone, remove your attachment to it, you'll go back to normal. Don't worry about it. In the meantime, if you do want to hold on to that little boost in your protection, I do reserve the right to toy with your appearance more.
Not sure if I'm entirely okay with that and what it implies.
Well, it depends. What do you value more? My knowledge? The extra boost to your hearty frame? Or this? And as you watch, Rascal turns from a deep stone grey into a more vibrant blue.
Wow. Are you still okay, baby?
Does this make him a blueberry bunny?
Mads gets a daydreamy look for a half second and then shakes her head. Are you okay, baby?
Do I feel fine?
Oh yeah, you feel perfectly fine. It was a slight tingling sensation as you changed colour, but you're perfectly fine.
It tingled as I changed color, but I feel fine.
Keep us posted what's going on.
Sure. No worries. Oh yeah, quick amendment. Yeah, he's not in me, he's talking through the stone to me. Okay. Just making sure you know exactly what's going on.
Tell him to be nice to you.
She would like you to be nice to me.
We'll see. But back to the matter at hand. If you must think of a name for me, I suppose you could call me Glor. But I would like to have the respect I am due.
Believe me, I'd like to give it to you.
Good.
Just don't give me any reason to show disrespect, and, you know, it is a two-way street.
So, what you're saying is that my gift was not enough for you?
Look, I don't need much. I just need knowledge. I just need to know why everyone in Waterdeep is trying to chase down a stone to chase after a vault.
Well,
Too many people have died for that damn thing. I want to put an end to it.
very noble. Well, let's just say my confinement. He says that with a lot of spite behind his tone. And as he brought out the sharp T in confinement, it almost felt like you were being jabbed in the mind. I am not
Are you okay?
able to answer questions freely. As you have probably already gleaned, I am trapped in this magical stone. You can... Each day you will be able to ask me 3 questions. That is all. That is all I am able to provide.
No, that's why. Because none of your answers. Right. 3 questions.
You can ask me questions freely. Whether or not I can answer them without using up the magical limitations, that is another question. So, to give you mechanically, you would have learned this when you tuned to the stone.
Yep.
There is an ability with the stone called Legend Lore.
Aha.
There are 3 charges that regenerate daily. If you use a charge of Legend Lore to ask the aboleth a question, it cannot lie to you when it responds. So it will not be able to lie if you use a charge. If you ask it questions without using the charge, it can speak freely, so to say.
Yeah. It could twist the truth how it pleases.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Let's get started.
Hi,
Can we call you Abby?
No.
He says no.
That wasn't in character. That was.
Yeah, that was a joke. Oh, I could tell that.
Like you go up to the devil. Can we call you Lucy?
Okay.
Does Rascal relate that information to us? Or
Yeah. Yes. Hey, I'll do it. So the gist is, guys, I can ask this fella 3 questions a day. And I can make sure he tells me the truth. Wholeheartedly. About anything.
I have an idea.
Yeah?
Like, I don't want to mess it up and say it if it messes up what you just said.
I think I have to say it.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
should
only
ask
the person attuned to the stone can use the charge.
You should ask it to tell us the precise, exact location of the vault. 1, 2, everything we need to get in. And 3, what's waiting for us down there?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth, sweetie. Those were the questions I was going to ask.
But make sure you're specific, or it'll be sneaky. Like, if you say...
No, he literally can't. He literally can't be sneaky about it if I use his power.
Yeah.
If I
The
don't,
exact
he can
location-
be sneaky.
The exact location, what do we need to get to that location, all the things we need, and what's waiting down there for us.
Alrighty. Unless anyone else has anything to add, I'll get to asking these questions.
Well,
Make sure that you ask anything we need to get down there and get in there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Get down there means to get to the vault, not just
Basic.
to
Oh
get
yeah,
to
no.
where the vault
in the
is.
vault, I would make
Everything
more
get
sense.
to the vault and get in the vault.
Yes.
Fairly certain there's some sort of locking mechanism.
Okay.
Really, Ashford?
Well, even the strongbox is locked, so vault is too.
Okay.
Please ask, Rascal.
Yeah, thank you. Before you guys overcomplicate this so much, my eyes burst out of my sockets. Okay, first use of legend lore. So, my friend, where precisely is the location of this vault that's supposedly filled with 500,000 platinum pieces?
Straight to the story. How very dull. Very well. When it was sealed, it was underneath a theatre in the castle ward, under the name of the Pink Flump.
Okay.
How very dull.
The sassy bitch.
Yes.
Okay, so the location of the vault is beneath a theatre in the field ward, was it?
Castle ward.
Castle ward. Beneath theatre. Theatre in Castle ward called
Mads?
the Pink Flump.
Mads suddenly gets a look and says, I want to ask a different question for the last one, Rascal.
What would that
I think
be,
he's just
sweetie?
going to try and think about theatre.
Instead of what's waiting for us down there, we can always find that out later, but I think question number 3 should be, how do we destroy you?
No.
No? Then it knows we can do it, and it makes sure to behave.
To be fair, if push comes to shove, we could always just throw it down the well.
If you're sure, guys, because I think that, you know...
They are aware I can hear them, right?
I don't think they are. You are aware he can hear you, right?
I'm and I just want to protect...
I think he can kind of use my big old ears.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mads. I just want to protect him. You understand, right?
She was the one who said she didn't like your change.
Only because you thrust it upon me.
Rascal suddenly changes back to stone grey.
I think he's slightly miffed.
Look,
Could make him purple next.
would you stop reading my mind?
Guys, please take this seriously.
Mads
And
is taking
also-
it dead serious.
And also, sweetie, I appreciate you looking out for me, but perhaps not make veiled threats at the entity that's possessing my body.
It wasn't a threat. I was just saying, if we know that, then it'll behave more.
You
You did a lot.
That's a threat!
Mads.
Mads shrugs and says,
Other half seems to have a very poor grasp on what I am capable of.
I don't think she's used to being around entities that are stronger than her.
Oh. Is that so?
Okay, back to the matter at hand!
It seems like you have used a little bit of bad phrasing there, my
Perhaps
friend.
you had best tell Lady Madeline of Circois to keep herself to herself, or I will find and burn her tree.
Oh.
Oh shit, you guys.
Okay.
You look. What's going on?
Sweetie, got an important message for you and you only.
yeah.
Rascal points to Mads and casts message. Yeah, he knows about your tree.
I know about everything you know.
Oh.
Mads looks
I know
suddenly
of your
worried.
past. I know of her past from what she has told you. I know your fears. I know your thoughts.
Told you should have let Mads do it. What is this mess? Oh, that's just my brain.
Right, okay, before this gets any more terrifying, and I'd like everyone to live today. Yeah, yuck it up, man.
In your mind's eye, you get the impression of a large toothy maw just twisting into a self-satisfied smirk.
Oh, gosh.
Mikey.
Okay. Question 2. What do we, why do we need to get into the vault? Like keys and some such.
Look at you, asking the clever questions. Let's see if I can remember this correctly. Rascal, roll me 3d6s.
Okay.
Just let me quickly get a page mark. Okay. So, I'm just writing this down real quick so I don't lose it.
Okay.
A 5.
2, 5, and a 1.
And a 1. Okay.
We require a compass, a pipe, and a potato.
Not exactly. The player knows what we have to
A
take.
sentient, all-watching potato. No.
Oh, we got one of those.
It's just a reference to Dead Ringers.
Well,
You'll need some rather interesting items. The first will be the eye stalk of a beholder.
Okay.
The second, the severed hand of a drow. The third, a beardless dwarf. They need only be present at the door.
Okay. Strange bunch of keys for a vault, but I'd expect nothing less.
Don't look at me, I didn't enchant the damn thing. If I had, let's just say, some of the required keys would require a little bit more bloodshed. Rascal turns a vibrant crimson.
Mads is aroused.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I do like being redder than ever.
Oh, well, in that case, you're not pink.
I kind of wanted to that one.
well,
Not gonna lie, I can try to rock
This
this
is
too.
so entertaining.
I have to say, you're
Hey, Herbalife guy, we don't have to know your name. Could you make him purple next?
Rascal, you sense just the slow, almost the slow turn of attention to Bing and almost a slow, ponderous blink.
Bing's antenna just kind of twitched slightly.
I don't think he takes
Ask
requests,
the
buddy.
purple one, what's in it for me?
Okay, he wants to know what's in it for him.
Bing!
His own amusement?
You heard him, buddy.
Not true, but I could turn you many colours for my own amusement. Turning you purple seems to be his amusement. Where's the joy in it for me, pleasing others?
Yeah, he wants to know how it would be enjoyable for him, because he believes that turning me purple will please you more than him.
And Mads says at that point, Mads interrupts and says, "Because I'll hate it."
Well, now you're just trying to manipulate me, dear. I can see why you like this one. A very conniving mistress, isn't she?
Yeah, she sure is. Always full of surprises and spicier
Oh,
than the
this
best.
feeling of love when you look at it. Oh God, stop that. Ugh, creepy.
I love this guy.
I know, me too. Mads hates him, but she does not like him fucking around with Rascal.
Right then, 2 down, 1 to go. What awaits us in the depths of the vault? Specifically, where the treasure is.
Ah, you want to know of the guardian of the vault.
Indeed.
Very well.
I'm sure there's tons of things in the vault, but I need to know what we should be afraid of most.
That would be the guardian of the vault. An ageless and ancient creature. He's, rather cantankerous if you're there with ill intent. Totally not drawing this out, but I quickly look up his name.
Is it Oranax, for example?
Spoiled it, Dirkwork.
Oxygen, guys. Oh, God.
Yes. The guardian of the vault. His name is Arthanax. A little bit territorial, but what can you expect from a gold dragon?
What? Go, dragon!
Gold as a because Pinkairis. Yeah, because he did it for Rascal. Gold dragon.
Go, dragon!
Well, that's silly. Dragons don't exist.
Thing kind of gives Mads a look.
Mads.
Matt, sweetie, I'm a dragon.
Yeah, we're both.
No, that was
descended
a joke. That was
dragons.
not. That was out of character. That was not real. That was a joke.
Honestly,
last
hard
time.
to tell since Mads is from Warsaw.
And
Yeah,
there's
Dragons
Ornax.
definitely don't exist.
No, that was the joke. That was the joke. But it's the same joke I did last time.
It is Oranax, as Dirkor pointed out. I
I shall
was
amend
thinking
my notes.
Parthenax from Skyrim, but there we
Yeah.
go.
I apologize if that wasn't clear to be a joke. It was a joke.
It's fine.
Oranax. This guy wouldn't happen. Just exactly how old is this dragon?
Oh, centuries.
Would he have a grudge against certain extremely rebellious, evil red dragons that once showed up Tiamat?
I have no idea. I didn't really discuss anything with him. He refused to share his mind with me. Unlike you. And you could almost feel like someone gently caressing the back of your head.
Ugh.
Your mind has been a delightful snack.
Well, bards aim to please and to entertain.
Oh, yes, you do. Some interesting songs I've learned from you as well. Or should I say from your former teacher? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, okay. I think I've learned everything you need to know. Thank you very much for your service. What can I do for you now?
Free me.
And how would I go about doing that?
I wish I knew.
Okay,
Give me
something
some
to add to the bucket
time
list.
of consciousness to ponder things, and I will probably figure it out. In the meantime, keep me close. Allow me to stay awake. Allow me to watch, to listen. And then we'll see. If I'm free again, I can go back to what I was doing.
Okay.
Rascal, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Finally! Good roll.
Okay. As the aboleth speaks of getting back to his old business, you sense a twisted smile cross an invisible set of features as a memory not quite your own goes across your mind's eye. A memory of men and women bowing, giving offerings of gold, precious gems, of food, of children, sacrifices to be consumed. You get the feeling that this was something he once had and wants again.
Excuse me.
Above game.
Yes?
Can I just drop attunement? Like, how does this
can.
work?
You can unattune to the stone.
Okay.
There is, however, always a risk.
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks, Turkork. Or Ashword, or both of the above.
No, it's actually just the player.
Okay. Okay. I will consider your needs carefully, but I would like a moment to think about it on my own. And you can root around in my head all you like. You know I'm the short that will actually, like, stick to their word, even if it's harmful for themselves.
Perhaps instead of just shutting me away again, you can pass me on to someone else.
What kind of person would you like to be passed on to?
Someone intelligent, someone with their own thoughts, someone I can learn from.
Mads is having another big bite of hamburger.
Perhaps the little purple fellow. And as he says that, Rascal turns a similar shade of purple to Bing.
Well, Bing, how would you like to be a proud owner of a sassy, powerful entity in a stone?
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea, Bing. I think you should do that.
Yeah, I think that might be best.
Okay. If you're sure.
Yeah, that might be the best idea.
It was fun talking. Well, it was nice talking to you, my friend.
You don't truly mean that, but you got what you wanted.
Well, you read me like a book.
A very compelling book.
And with that, Rascal will pass off the stone to Bing.
Okay. Bing is going to take the stone. He's going to spend the hour tuning to it.
Okay. Rascal, whenever the attunement breaks, you have to focus for the hour to remove the attunement while Bing focuses to gain it. Over the course of the hour, the visual changes to you slowly fade. You return back to your original red appearance. You feel the hardened scales over your body soften again. You lose your bonus AC.
Fair enough.
I would also like you to make me another wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
Let's hope it's a good one.
Ah!
Goodbye.
Rascal,
No.
as you pass away the stone, your entire interaction with the creature within the stone is now lost. You cannot remember anything that occurred after you attuned to the stone. From your perspective, you elected to attune to the stone, blinked, and now Bing is holding the stone.
Huh? Wait, what happened?
Before the roleplay continues, I do have a critical question.
Yes?
Did Rascal say any of the answers aloud, or did he not?
He did not.
But I did write them in my notebook. Does that count in universe?
No, because you were talking to the stone. You didn't
Ah,
write them
no!
down.
So I have to get rid of what I wrote!
Yes.
No!
To be honest, I would
The
hang
only
on to it
thing you told them
until-
aloud was the location of the vault.
Oh, fuck!
Gold
And the-
Dragon. That's all they know.
We got distracted by
To be honest,
antics!
so I wouldn't delete it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
delete it, but just don't use it in gameplay, just to save time.
Let's hope
If
you
it-
find a way to restore your memory.
Put it in brackets for now, and that you've
That's what I
forgotten
mean.
it.
Alright, I can do that.
I'm glad. I needed to know that because I needed to know what Mads knows.
So yeah, you just don't know what keys you need.
Bing is just going to kind of, because has he attuned to it?
I would say by now, yes. And as you tune, you get that same sensation that Rascal did. You get the feeling of a creature shifting to make itself comfortable in a new surrounding. You get the feeling of the heartbeat, the low, lazy blinks. You feel oddly exposed. But you also feel your scales sort of tighten and toughen up, so gain 1 to your AC. You do also lose your colour. Bing is now stone grey with the emerald eyes. And ahead, right before you, you see a very confused and almost insulted looking Rascal.
And so, what just happened? I had the stone, and now Bing has the stone.
It's a long story.
You
Mads is
gave
like
it to him?
massaging Rascal's shoulder and going, "Are you all right, sweetie? Are you all right? Are
I
you
will
okay?"
say this, Rascal. You found out where the vault is.
I
But-
did?
Yeah, but we kind of need to find out what keys and stuff we're gonna need. And I'm not sure if we can actually do anything about that till tomorrow.
Hmm.
Oh, that is the dangers with toying with a mind greater than your own. The poor darling.
And Mads did hear Gold Dragon.
Yep.
And you said Gold Dragon.
What? Gold Dragon? What?
You said Gold Dragon.
Gold
You said Gold
Dragon. Very old Gold Dragon, who I hope doesn't have anything against people who may or may not be descended from a terrible calamity.
Oh, former
Rascal-
Tiamat worshippers.
Did Rascal say the name of the dragon?
No.
No, he did not.
Okay.
He was too busy
yeah.
just flabbergasted the fact that, holy shit, a dragon!
Hey, you
Now
only
he's
got two.
flabbergasted all over again.
You only asked 2 questions, sweetie.
Did I?
We only got 2
So we
answers.
still have.
No, he has asked 3 questions, but he only gave
The
spoke
location,
out 2 answers.
keys, and the guardian.
No. I mean, in character, Mads thinks
No,
there's only
in
2
character.
answers.
In character, he has to speak to the.
Oh, okay.
Or didn't he just do that mentally? That's a very
just trying-
interesting question.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find out. We heard him ask those questions, right?
Yeah, if he
Yes.
spoke aloud. He
He
could
did.
speak privately in his head, but...
Yeah.
if he
So
spoke
she
to-
says, so it sounds like you only got 2 answers. It's under the theater, and we need a gold dragon to get in. What was the third one? What's waiting for us in there?
Oh no.
I
That's
don't
misinterpreted.
Mads, I don't think we need a gold dragon to get in. I think there's a gold dragon in there.
Oh,
So what do we
maybe-
need?
Maybe not.
Huh.
Who knows?
This is really frustrating. You guys should let me talk to him. I'm smart. I can do it.
Mads,
My head's
Don't
fuzzy, but I
think
get
you-
the distinct impression that's a very bad idea.
Yeah, I would say it's a very, very bad idea.
do you remember that Rascal said he knew about your tree?
Well, no, you guys didn't hear that. That was a private message right to
Oh, wait.
Mads.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
You certain? I mean, it's apparently capable of
No,
a
no,
lot of
Ashford.
stuff.
She looks down again at herself, look down at her chest, and looks back up, and then Ashford says, yeah, no, that's right. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to touch it at all.
Yeah, to be honest, this guy might want to be passed around the group. So,
Well,
tell him he
at the
can't have
moment,
me.
There's a lot I can learn from you.
well, I'm really not sure exactly how much you can learn from me, but you're welcome to take a look.
I don't need your permission. And you get a feeling like something is raking across your mind.
So basically, we can't ask you any more questions until we've all had a little sleep.
With you tuned in, you would learn about the legend lore feature
Alright.
of this. You can ask him questions, but whether or not he answers you truthfully, you don't know. The legend lore compels him to tell you the truth.
Well, yeah, Bingo just basically pass it on to the party. But we can't really ask him any questions knowing for a fact he's telling us the truth until tomorrow.
Oh, don't you trust me?
Well, to be fair, we know that you'll do anything for your own amusement, so you could
Well.
possibly... We could ask you if the sky was blue, and you could tell us if it was pink or purple polka.
To be fair, when I was born, the sky was black, as was the world. That changed in the course of my life. But when you say do anything for my own amusement, what have I done except turned that kobold into a kaleidoscope?
That is true, but it's still... I would say the whole discretion is a better part of valor sort of thing.
So what you're saying is you want me to disguise you?
More that being cautious is probably best when you're with something ancient and with ridiculous levels of intelligence.
Perhaps.
I may not be the brainiest little lizard in the town, but I know better than to just accept anything as gospel from a very ancient being.
Well, kobolds did worship the dragons for that reason. I'm older than the dragons. Perhaps that means the kobolds should worship me.
Sorry, I'm a one-person cat. I'm one, well, nebulous creature kind of guy.
I understand.
Although I will ask this. Yeah, this gold dragon, well, you already seen what I know of my past, of my ancestry. Would he be likely to know about my, not so illustrious forebear? You know, what that tried to...
I never really had a full conversation with the creature. I was, preoccupied with my current state. It's possible it was a widely known event to the dragons. Whether that one holds a grudge, maybe. It would be fascinating to find out.
Hey. At this point, Bing's gonna look around the party and go, so yeah, this dragon may or may not have a grudge against one of my ancestors.
Oh,
Well, why would it have a grudge against you? It's a gold dragon.
Well, you know how my name's Natkin? Well, one of my, relatives was a powerful kobold sorcerer who slayed a manticore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got his
Just like
magic
in the
powers.
story.
Yeah, he got his magical powers because he was descended from a very ancient, very nasty red dragon.
Mads moves to hug Rascal tighter if she can.
Of course she can.
As in a
With
red dragon.
squeezing protectively around him.
As in a red dragon that basically told Tiamat to go F herself.
You mean... what was their name again?
Best not to mention his name.
Nikovat. It was in the play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, I don't know much about dragons aside from Natalics, aside from what I found out in the play, but from what I understand, gold dragons are among the noblest and most brilliant of
They
creatures.
are, but, well, like I said, when this dragon in particular tried to take on Tiamat and Bahamut and started a massive war that killed a lot of dragons.
Mm,
Being your red.
Oh. This is fine. Bing's just kind of go over.
Bing's got the stone on the table. This is fine.
Being a couple of things. One, I'm sure the gold dragon would judge you for your character, not that of your bloodline. And two, I don't think the dragon's even going to be able to tell who your not so illustrious ancestor is. I mean, look at you. You're a Feybold. I don't even think the dragon would know what a Feybold is.
That's a good point. Still, it's a little unnerving for me.
Hey, I understand.
The Bing's just go very quiet, and I just need to nip off for a few moments.
Great. Now he's turning you into the equivalent of a red coat.
No, I think that it's making Bing look like Rascal, isn't it, Jernus?
No, it's making him look like his
Okay.
ancestor.
Oh, that's mean. That's so mean! Guy's a dick!
Okay.
So
Now
yeah,
you know what?
as you're
Yes,
speaking,
feel insecure, feel insecure.
Bing's features, Fables have very soft, rounded features, but as you watch, his snout becomes angular, similar to Rascal's. The scales that were soft and almost shimmery turn dull and harden and almost spiked. The little ridge of a fin on the middle of his forehead turns into a jagged fan of quills. His antennae turn to horns, and his ears elongate into angular, pointed ones. Not quite as long as Rascal's, but he now looks more like an original kobold.
So what was he, Kobold 2 before? Like Coke 2?
New Kobold!
New and improved, fabled.
Main bolt.
Crystal Kobold.
That was Coke.
You
that was
know,
Kobold Classic.
as soon as we learn this and you pass on to someone of interest, someone whose intellect you have not yet tasted, he will fall back to his regular look.
While Seth is away, I just want to let you all know that I'm very sad that we're not going to get the scene of Mads attuning to the thing, and then the thing, the creature talking, and Mads going, "If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands."
It would be delightful to see what would happen if you tried.
Yes.
Me, you could always
Matt-
just take it.
Mads is
Well-
not. No. Mads is not going near it for reasons.
Good. Sensible reasons, I'm sure.
Rascal also completely forgot that this thing read his mind.
Yeah, in the most invasive of ways.
Well, that something like that might come up later if we have a conversation.
Oh,
So,
Just kind of waiting on Sephi to
Yeah,
come.
we're waiting on Stephanie's now.
Oh, welcome back.
so Sephi, you now look like a red kobold. Your antennae have shifted to horns, your ears have elongated, your features have become much more angular. You look like Nat.
Hello! That's out of character. So this is unusual.
Well-
Isn't it delightful?
well. Going to be interesting what you do when I get take a hold of you, my friend.
Is that really what we're doing? Are we all just like playing hot potato with this guy?
I'm not.
Well, like I said, I get the feeling that he's probably going to want to be passed on to someone soon.
I'm not in quite a hurry. I'm just starting to get to the juicy information about the Feywild. Such a delightfully interesting place.
Well, there's not much I know that you don't already know about the place. I mean, I was just a harmless little Feybold until my lady made me one of her knights.
Well, this is bad. I don't like it changing people.
Let's just say gaining a new perspective is always interesting.
Hey, you better not be stealing my gumbo recipe.
Oh, I see how you get that little kick. Interesting.
It's cocoa powder, isn't it?
Cayenne and cocoa powder mixed.
Tell
In a
me,
2
is
to 1
half a
ratio.
pound of chocolate really necessary?
It adds to the texture.
Very sticky.
That's the best way to make gumbo.
You having a conversation about gumbo with that stone?
Oh yeah. He wanted information. He's getting
Okay.
information.
Attention listeners, the next 10 sessions will be recipes.
Look, if the stone wants to be a chef, then we can certainly find a chef for it to be passed on to.
I think we're
we
getting distracted from
Yeah,
the
just a
matter
little.
at hand.
Yeah, I think we should probably go speak to Mert as soon as possible.
Yeah, let's go to Mert.
Did you guys actually get the necessary information from the stone?
No, because we can't ask that till tomorrow.
Oh yeah, shit.
I also want to point out, Rascal, from your perspective, Bing snatched the stone from you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You put an evil on me.
I did.
And also, we do need to. Also, Pi does need to rest.
Yeah, I know that. So, okay. Why did you steal the stone from me?
It was hurting you.
You gave
Well-
it to him.
Did I? I'm very confused about what's going on here.
At least it looked from over here as if you did. Matt, did you
I-
see anything else? Anything different?
I get the feeling after our mutual friend left Rascal's influence, he kind of erased the whole interaction.
I
Right.
erased nothing. The poor boy's mind just couldn't handle my intellect.
Ah.
His mind rejected it.
Yeah, basically, Rascal, when you kicked him out, you kicked out everything,
Hmm.
including the memories of him.
Stupid question, but would it be possible to affect the mind in such a fashion that it is restored?
I don't really think so. It's more like, I'd say it's more like the memories decided Rascal ended up kicking out the memories as well.
Well, I mean,
Like, he rejected them.
I wouldn't be entirely certain about that.
Then we
the-
should never have Rascal do it
okay.
again.
Look, he's right here. We're talking about Rascal like he's
No.
in bed.
No, I'm protecting him.
From what? What happened?
And then Mads very briefly gives a serious and sober recitation of what she remembers from the discussion. She basically just says, "You had the stone, you said some things out loud, and then you handed it over to Bing, and now you seem to have forgotten, sweetie."
Oh, okay. So a conversation was had, but you guys only heard parts of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm.
And it was changing what you looked like, and it was changing color of you, and then your skin got then your scales got all crusty.
Yeah, purple really isn't your color, Rascal.
Yeah, it looks better on you.
You say to this, your friend who is currently a different kobold.
Yeah.
Oops.
It's doing the same thing to Bing. It's not cool.
It doesn't matter what color it makes Bing. I know that Bing is purple.
And to be fair, I'm pretty much the only kobold in the entire city with a shield, a flamberge, and this armor, so,
And like what, 3'6"?
yeah, pretty much.
Mads is so protective of Rascal right now. She's
3'6". We could fix that.
"Oh
Watch
no!"
as Bing slowly raises a few inches.
This is really upsetting Mads. She is like losing it. She is like got her hand on her forehead
Bing.
And
now.
I will say, the elongation of your spine actually hurts a little bit.
Oh, okay, that hurt.
Oh, sorry, I
Stop
sometimes
it.
forget how fragile your bodies can be. Very well.
Mads like addresses the stone and says, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!"
Oh, how forceful. An interesting lady, this Madeline of Turquoise.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Well, very well, I suppose. If she's getting so very upset about this, I'll stop playing around so fragrantly. Bing returns to his normal state. And again, you get that little shock of pain up your spine as you return to your original height.
Let's say that would leave a mark, but that's not going to leave a mark.
Oh, I could leave a mark if you want me to leave a mark.
Nah, I think that's okay.
Even if you don't want me to, I can.
Look, can you at least make it look nice?
That's so vague. That's dangerously vague.
Does this beholder sound like Tony J to anyone else?
It's
It's
not a
not a
beholder.
beholder.
Beholder, I mean the stone.
As you watch, there's now a small swirl of blackness on Bing's throat as it coalesces together and forms the shape of a bunny rabbit. Bing can't see this because it's under his chin.
You say, what was it
Well-
forming to shape of?
A bunny rabbit.
Well,
Mads stares at that venomously.
that
You can-
is a bunny rabbit.
Mads is shaking. She is so angry. She seems
Yes.
to.
Just so long as it does, just so long as it doesn't decide to ride on my back in primordial ass monkey who delivers Tuesdays.
Don't give it fucking ideas.
I'm in your mind, and I barely understood that one.
Did I do that? Did I just keep giving him my material to work with?
No, it's all right, sweetie. Let's just everybody. Let's just put this away.
Yeah, we should probably
We're
get
not
some sleep.
fighting anymore. Let's go to bed and be away from it for now.
Just letting you know, I might snore.
I think snoring is the last of our concerns right now, Bing.
I
Come
wasn't
on,
really
sweetie.
meaning you guys.
Oh, right. Boy.
Where should we put it?
I'll be staying with you, little Bing.
Yeah, he wants to stay with me, so Bing kind of just puts a stone in his pocket.
So
Hunter and Ashward, you stay with Bing.
You sense a small smile across this featureless. You don't know what this thing looks like, other than you can sense its expression sometimes, and you can just feel a smile creep onto its lips.
Bing just kind of shrugs and heads up to his room.
Do you really think Hunter needs to keep watch on Bing as well?
Yes. Absolutely. 2 people at the very least. And it's not going to be me or Rascal.
Bing, when he gets to his room, he's going to try and replace the broken string on his lyre.
Sure, you can do that easily enough. So, in
Well-
the meantime, does anyone else want to do anything else before
Uh,
use Wick?
Bing is
Mads
just going
is
to give a
going-
little bit of a quick test.
Yeah, your lyre sounds perfectly fine.
Mads is going to try to get Rascal up to their room. Come on, Rascal.
As they pass Bing's door, you go, okay, come on. You say potato.
I'm not doing this.
And I say patata. Look, I'm sitting outside of your room, okay?
Look, I don't care what the song says. You say potato, some say potato. We all know the correct way to pronounce it is spud.
Alternate schmalternate, huh?
But I do have something I want to do with Rascal when they're done.
Evidently. Clearly. In fact, he's shoving the boy up to bed.
Yeah, that's not that.
Oh, I know.
I legit cannot remember which bedroom is Bing's. I think
Bing's.
Bing
It was
did-
Alia's.
Oh, yeah.
Was Alia's.
that was. That was.
Why am I suddenly in my bedroom?
Alia was directly
you're
underneath Mads and Rascal.
Oh yeah, that one. So and Ashford was outside
No, no,
Bing's room. Okay.
Yes. After all, he had been asked to keep watch.
Okay.
And Hunter. She asked Hunter too. I don't know what Hunter does because we haven't heard from Icy.
Yeah, sorry, I've been quiet.
It's okay. Is Icy okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then she does, she makes sure of that, and then she goes with, basically, tries to drag Rascal into the bedroom.
You won't find too much resistance, though he is still very disorientated, so...
She's being understanding. She's like, come on, let's go, come on. Does anyone else have anything? Because I want to do a little thing with Rascal when we're done.
Now, all I will say is the party's getting the sense that this Aboleth wants an experience, Bing's going to give him an experience.
Oh, you don't know what he is.
Well, no, but you know what I mean. This mysterious force wants an experience, he's getting one.
Mm-hmm.
The fabled experience.
Yeah.
Alright, so, what is Rascal and Mads doing?
Mad says, "Sit down, sweetie," and sits him down on the bed and sits on the other side of it.
Okay.
She says, "Midway through that conversation, you gave me a message."
You did, huh?
Yeah. Are you all right?
I'm very, very confused and disorientated.
You understood what I told you happened, right?
Barely?
You talked. You had a whole conversation. You handed it over to Bing.
Oh yeah,
And
I got that part. You sent me straight on a lot of things.
Yeah, and then I
But
think,
my head still aches.
yeah, sweetie. Maybe we should get you looked at. Maybe Penfold, maybe Mert, maybe both. But you sent me a message. You said that it told you that it would destroy my tree. Or it knows about my tree, not destroy. You told me it knows about my tree.
Yeah, I guess. Well, what does... Sorry, I've forgotten the whole thing, so there's no point waiting for me to illuminate you. You got to illuminate me.
No,
Are
that's
you
what I'm
worried about
doing.
that?
No. See, what it doesn't know is, I'm closing my tree. When all this is over, I'm staying with you. I don't need that tree anymore.
So it's ultimately going to be an empty threat.
I don't know if it was a threat. You just said it knew about my tree. I don't know what it knew about my tree.
Pretty sure I wouldn't have told you unless I thought you should know, so it was probably a threat. I don't know.
I told you where it is. You remember where it is.
Mm-hmm. It's in my notebook.
Yeah. When this is all over, we're going to go there and we're going to close the door. I don't want to go back.
That's a long trek, though, isn't it? Through the forest of disappearance?
It's the only way I know to close it. I mean, I've never closed it from the other side, so I don't know if it'll even work, but I got to try.
We can't
I can't
just leave it alone?
Then anything could get in there and find my tree. And if that closes the door, then they could go somewhere else, wherever they wanted, or however the puzzle works.
Okay, I think I get it. You don't want to risk anyone coming here.
Yeah.
Or anywhere else where they could cause a mess.
Yeah.
It's very noble of you, sweetheart. I'll help.
It's not. And she says, I just come here. Just lie down. Come here.
Well, he'll do so.
And then she wraps herself up around him and puts her she's Big Spoon and if she can and she puts her head on her chin on his shoulder and says, just stay here with me.
Not going anywhere else fast.
Good night, sweetie.
I just think in my head of a certain group suddenly emerging from the tree, the leader just goes, "Holy shit! I didn't think we'd ever get to that fucking place."
But then she tries to go to sleep, protectively wrapped around Rascal like he's a frickin' teddy bear.
Aww.
She's holding him tight. She does not want to let go.
Aww.
Okay.
And it takes the bewildered, confused lad who's had a very stressful day a while, but eventually he loosens up, goes slack, and falls to sleep all curled up like a kobold bean into his a big lovely wife.
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
So, those two go to sleep. Lola, I would like you to roll me a general perception check.
Preach.
Oh,
Nola!
wait.
Nola! Nola!
I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. Okay,
It's the usual thing, right?
sorry, I kind of got distracted when I accidentally wrote myself out of the scene.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, Percepticon.
Mhm.
It's been so long. It's been 84 years.
Okay. I would say
Oh, hindsight is
the
1770.
fact that you're very close to that room, you overheard probably a fair amount of what was going on in there. You hear them talking about looking for something, you hear them discussing a magical item. You heard a little bit of couples drama. You made some weird friends.
I'm not sure anymore if I go into the right place to seem normal.
Where better to avoid looking like a weirdo than in a group of weirdos. So, is there anything you would like to do before you pass the night away?
That's an interesting phrasing for a skeleton. But no, I think right now she's trying to do her best impression of somebody sleeping. So if you check the chat, you will see she crawled under the mattress because that's her best estimation of how it works. And that's where she is now.
Alright.
Of course, she only remembered afterwards that she can't actually sleep, but that's where she is for the night.
Okay. So the night goes on. Hunter and Ashwood. Ashward. Do you actually sleep tonight?
He'll take a short rest.
Okay.
He will not sleep the whole night.
Then you
Just
will
a
take a
short
point of
rest.
exhaustion.
But because I'm using short rest, I'm actually going to recover. I'm going to spend all my hit dice. Great, a 3. Another 3.
Oh
Another 3.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Holy shit, roll
Okay.
20! Calm
And
down!
an 8.
That was amazing.
3, exactly have a beast.
And hey, you got 3 of the same number, so you have to go to jail now.
Yeah, I know.
Monopoly rules, bitch.
Plus 17. That's okay. I will be exhausted, but I will be mostly live.
Okay.
Three, the number of the beast. I know.
It's half the beast.
Excuse me.
50% of the beast, yes.
It's the
Okay.
bee.
And does Hunter sleep,
bear.
or is Hunter
All
keeping
this-
an eye out as well?
Hunter's gonna sleep.
Okay.
She is very hurt, and she needs to sleep.
Oh,
Yeah, whether you actually do it or not, Matt just like told you to and then stormed off.
alright, so. For most of you, the night is uneventful. Ashward
Yes.
sits bored in the hallway. Meanwhile, in the room, Bing
Oh, no.
falls into an odd sleep. He feels aware and yet detached, as he doesn't quite dream, as so much he relives memories. Memories seemed to be scattered in random places around his life. The only consistency seems to be memories of when he learned something. Something important or something unique.
So that's what happened to my scale brush.
Also, more notable events in his life. The first time he was told the story of Nat, his ancestor. The first time he learned of the hierarchy of the Feywild. The first time he was invited to the Queen's court to be made a knight. And as you're reliving these memories, there always seems to be a presence beside you, watching, making no comment, but seemingly taking note. And then morning comes.
I don't say Bing's too worried about this. He kind of, I won't say he's kind of expected it, given the whole what he's already been told. So he kind of expected his memories to kind of be sifted through a little.
Mm-hmm. So then, morning arrives. The party's awake. Nola decides now would probably be roughly the correct time to come out from under the mattress.
Yep. In the neighboring rooms, in particular downstairs, people hear kind of a dull thud as she sits up and the mattress falls off of her. So, okay, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do now.
Oh, yes.
Things. Oops. Probably not supposed to run into somebody else's bedroom.
The doorway to downstairs was over here. Shall I just drag you down? Oh god, she jumped out the window.
This is normal, right?
You come downstairs and you find yourself in a relatively subdued tavern. It's still very early in the morning. On the table beside you, you see 3 kobolds and a small rat folk. In the opposite side of the room, you see 2 almost identical looking gnolls, one of which you're pretty sure was outside the night before, along with a younger, smaller human man. In the corner is a large elephantine man currently shoveling what looks like the contents of a grocer's stall into his mouth. They all kind of turn to look at you as you enter the room.
Hello, fellow people. I'm just gonna come over here. She tries to remember what she's supposed to do now. It's like, I'd like to order.
You see the large elephant man just slowly lever himself out of the bench, out of his there's a reinforced chair over here that you feel like was made especially for him. As he comes over, and he is over 7 feet tall, and he's pretty broad. As he now walks up beside you and looks down with these big, moist, dewy eyes. And what can I get you?
I'd like a glass.
Milk?
It's just a glass.
The elephant just kind of raises one eyebrow at you, but nods, makes his way around the counter. He reaches down under the counter and grabs a large, sparkling clean glass and sets it in front of you.
Thank you very much. And she kind of slumps down, trying to be not present, but not standing out. Just being a normal patron at the bar, sipping at her empty drink.
He blinks at you for a moment and then reaches under the bar and pulls up a tiny little bowl and sets the bowl beside you, and in it is just this little collection of mixed nuts. Then slowly turns and walks back to his table. And as he steps past you, your stool almost jumps with the weight of him walking past. As he sits back down and goes back to eating his giant salad.
That's our good boy.
Nola makes a tiny little rattling noise as he walks past. And periodically kind of dunks her hand into the nuts.
Yeah, just sits it there.
I'd say Bing wakes up about now as well. He's gonna make his way downstairs.
And
if he has to pass by Ashwood, who's going to accompany him.
Yeah, that's true. I had forgotten about that.
And Mads is going to wait until Rascal is awake before she gets up. She's literally just going to lie there looking at Rascal and waiting for him to wake up.
Okay. Ashford, just wait here 1 second. He's just gonna go over to Nola and he's just going to whisper, "Look, I know about your situation." He whispers as quietly as he can.
What are you talking about?
I know about your situation vis-a-vis being alive.
Yes, I'm very alive. I'm quite...
Look, Miss Squiletta, I'm a paladin. We can kind of sense when something around us isn't... well...
Oh, I'm very well. I'm quite healthy.
Look, I'm not going to say anything because you're clearly not evil. You're nice. So don't worry about that. I ain't going to say anything. But... yeah, just letting you know. Everything's okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What the hell are they talking about?
You're being a bit intrusive.
I'm sorry, that would be perception.
Mm-hmm.
But we just kind of pats Nola's hand reassuringly and then goes back over to where
Hey, Bing, you would be quiet enough because I'm exhausted.
Yeah, sadly, you would not know what they're talking about.
Yeah. I just remembered that I don't have any advantage. All I have are disadvantages right now.
Not with your first level of exhaustion. It's only certain ability checks that are...
well, but still, in that case, it would be a 10, but still.
You still wouldn't hear them, sadly.
Bing's going to give Ashford a quick look over.
Look, Matt had told me to stand guard in case anything unusual happens, so I did.
Yeah, and you should have got some sleep.
Look, a soldier doesn't disobey his post.
Yeah, but look, don't worry, I wouldn't say I have the situation under control exactly, because how can you control an ancient, unspeakable, unfathomable intelligence from beyond the world we know, but I'm handling it.
Look, all I need is some coffee and I'll be fine.
You insist?
You need any coffee as well?
Oh, no, I'm getting quite perky, actually.
Alright. Miss Coletta, you want another drink for your glass?
No, I'm good. I'm I'm a normal amount of thirsty, and this glass has fully replenished my metabolism.
All right. Enjoy your bowl of nuts.
Yes, they're delicious. And she scoops her hand in, takes a handful, and kind of meshes them against her bandana.
Interesting way to eat.
It works. It's nice. It keeps out all the toxins.
Has Hunter come downstairs?
Yeah, she's come downstairs by this point.
You probably would have entered around the bandana keeps out the toxins. You okay, Sif?
Yep.
Didn't keep out the toxins. Told you.
Yeah.
Rascal and Mads?
I guess by the amount of silence, everyone is done waking up.
Yeah. Mads is, like I said, literally just sitting, like, lying with her hand on Rascal's hip, waiting for him to wake up.
Rascal shoots up upright and just yells, "That was such bullshit! That's more bullshit than even Bizak could spew!" Not only did we lose the whole evening, I lost all the knowledge that I had supposedly gotten from that asshole in the stone! I didn't even
Sweetie.
find out what this festival was about! I
Sweetie,
wanted
sweetie.
to!
Sweetie. We know that we can do it again. 1. Good morning. 2. She reaches over to hug him. You dealt with something really wild, and you did it like a hero, just like you always do.
Aww.
We know there's a gold dragon. We know where the vault is. We just need a few more days, and then we can go take care of this, and it'll all be over. And we get in, get out, and change everything.
I'm just annoyed that I couldn't hold on to the information, and that I lost the friggin' night out on the town as well.
If
I wanted to know what the festival was about. There was candy! Candy's great!
You only
Wow.
forgot what happened after you tuned to the stone, so that half hour or so section.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were great, but I don't want you using it again. Let Bing use it. It was changing you. It was doing things against your will. It turned you red, deeper red. It turned you pale and turned you pink. It turned you all like rough and coarse. And it did all kinds of terrible things to you. I don't want you to go near it. I'm not going to go near it either because of the baby.
Oh gods. Yeah, no, definitely not. You stay as far away from that thing as possible. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So both of us, I need you to be away from it and me to be away from it. We'll just let Bing do it.
Let Bing do it. He's expendable.
Yeah, inside check. No, I'm just kidding.
Going 3-3.
Not that I'm actively trying to do it or anything.
No, it's just not us. But
Yeah.
let's go downstairs and get something to eat and
And have another meeting since we didn't really
Yeah.
cover everything.
yeah, exactly. Now it's a new day. Bing can do it again, and we'll make him tell us what he knows and that thing in there. That
I hope
horrible
Ashford
thing.
didn't actually wait outside all night when you told
He
him
did.
to.
No. She says, "Oh, I don't care."
Yeah, you know, I appreciate you looking out for me, but we gotta look out for our friends as well.
Oh, Ashford can take care of himself.
Yeah, and so can I.
I know.
And you.
I know.
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me as much as you do, but you don't need to coddle me either. Come on, I know you were running into situations just to make sure I wouldn't be getting there first.
But I like when you're all cozy and comfy.
I like being cozy and comfy too, sweetie.
Then let's get up and go downstairs and have a cozy, comfy breakfast, and then we can talk to the monster in the stone.
Yeah, I'm right with you on that.
And she gets dressed and she puts on her. She actually gets into her outfit, the smart detective outfit, the green, the slimmer green dress with the hat.
Morning, Mads. No unusual activity to report.
Hi, Bing.
Good morning.
What happened overnight, Bing?
They kind of rummaged through a few of my old memories. Nothing too important.
Do we want to go up to the room and get to work again?
Well, first, I must confess, I'm glad that wasn't me, because my memories are my own. Secondly, I require an obnoxious amount of bacon.
Ooh, that sounds good. Hey,
Like
hey,
just
hey,
bacon.
Rascal, wait. Before you do the bacon, you've never had one of my sandwiches, have you?
Can there be a lot of bacon between
There can. Sometimes there's bacon.
Well,
Sometimes it's crispy. Sometimes it's thick. There's always the best ones are bacon.
I want a lot of obnoxiously crispy bacon.
And
Greasy.
How are you doing with the eggs?
and Ashford,
Yes.
you know how to make the sandwiches, right? Make the sandwiches.
well, I for one wouldn't mind something a little more savory. Mushroom.
Oh, this is savory. This is
sausage,
savory.
bacon,
This
Yeah.
is savory.
eggs.
This is really
Right.
savory. Make ones. Make like breakfast ones. Make breakfast ones.
All
I'm
right,
not-
I'll see what I can do. I'm fairly certain the chefs are going to be rotating when they see me.
You head into the kitchen and you basically see Odie is staring at a potato. Well, Bert and Bobbin are getting everything to ready, but Odie is just like glaring at this potato.
What's the problem with the potato?
Ah, don't get her started on it. Really, don't. It watches us all.
Just because it has many eyes doesn't mean that it's watching. So I'm gonna need a little bit of. I need a little bit of bread and some fried up bacon and some eggs sunny side up.
Sausage,
To the
mushroom.
sandwich. And a few sauteed mushrooms.
At this
And
moment,
sausages.
you might hear Mads yell out, "Bucket!
Your
Need a
order.
bucket now!"
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of want like I said, I want bacon too, and the eggs, sausage, and mushrooms.
Eggs, okay. Bacon, eggs, sausage, mushroom, and baked beans, I guess.
No baked beans. Ugh.
No, but
In response to Mads's panic shouting, Gordain points to this room over here.
Mads races to go find a bucket. She's like running. She knows.
Okay.
Huh.
In that little room, this room here. Hang on, let me get.
Oh, sorry.
Here.
I can't find. Oh, okay.
In that little room is a tiny privy.
Come on, Rascal. Out here, Rascal. Come on.
Bing has just got this smirk on his face.
Right there. He's keep running past it.
Well, to be fair, I tried to go through the door, but it wouldn't let me in.
Yeah, same. That's what's happening to me. Here, sweetie. Let me hold your ears.
So yeah, very loudly.
And something that I guess we can forego one of the sandwiches.
Oh.
And how about something that's soothing for the stomach?
That'd probably be milk and probably some kind of oats.
Yeah, some.
My God, I thought you were going to say. I
I
thought you
love
were
how
going to
Bing
say.
is having this conversation whilst halfway across the room. I could just imagine, you know, that little faded voice from the peanut gallery. Don't read the sausages!
I
Yeah,
was just
That
picturing
is,
them
what
being
I,
like,
that is what I heard, yes.
and what I heard
Yeah.
was them being like, maybe just the plain eggs. That just the eggs by itself. That'd be perfect. Maybe that'll be nice and soothing.
Alright, you know what?
Bing is too busy having evil thoughts of his own.
What is wrong?
I'm leaving it to your capable hands. Just a few sandwiches to be sent up to the commons room. Can you please do that for us?
Yeah, we can do that! I wouldn't
Give-
stop staring at the damn potato.
In that case, if it's to be a sandwiches, then no egg.
You see, Bert had his
You're
hand,
gay.
had like his
You're-
hand and like 4 or 5 eggs. When he hears no egg, he's like, sadly puts 2 back.
No,
don't
you're
want- I
getting the
don't
eggs.
want-
You're getting the eggs whether you like it or not.
It'll dribble through my fingers.
Okay, so Rascal's in the privy right now, and they continuously talk about eggs. Can he hear that shit from there?
Probably not, considering you are in a
Good.
small toilet and puking your guts out.
Good.
And Mads is talking the whole time, going, "It's okay, it's all right, it's
You know
okay,
what?
you're fine."
Let's put the eggs to the side for a bit. Okay. Yeah, it seems some people have adverse reactions.
Yeah, Bing's still got the evil grin on his face.
You bastards.
Oh, no, this is something else he's thinking on.
My god.
What?
Alright, so for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to drag you all upstairs
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
These are the heroes who are going to save the world, everyone.
You want me to
Yeah,
step out of the kitchen so you can grab me a little bit easier?
Now you're good, actually.
Alright.
Where did Mads go?
Mads is next to Rascal.
Not anymore.
No, she's under Rascal.
I've moved Rascal, I don't see Mads.
I'm getting total darkness on my screen now.
Did you accidentally delete your token?
No, I haven't touched it.
Did you accidentally delete her token?
Nope.
In that case,
There
where
I
is
am.
the token?
I'm there next to Rascal now.
Yeah,
Where
just
was I?
probably- I couldn't find you. It probably done one of those things. Like, know how whenever the DM and the player tries to move the token at the same time and the token just zooms off into the
Yeah.
I assumed that happened.
Yeah.
I did a
Right.
Bethesda.
Bing just, he still has this grin on his face as he sits
The
at the
question-
table.
Is as you head back upstairs, what do you invite Nola or do you just leave her downstairs to play with the
Wait.
peanuts?
What do we want to do?
Do we want to take our guest with us, or do we want her to stay downstairs?
What do we want to do about Lala?
Well, I think she's kind of involved now, so...
Yeah. Wow.
Can we make her
Okay.
tell the truth or something?
She's not really a danger, Mads. She's
might
not
work for
worried
someone.
about
She might work for
Nah.
someone.
Nah, trust me, there's nothing unusual about her. She's just very nervous.
What?
We should make
I
her
don't
feel
know.
at home.
Can you see it through her like glass or something?
More that we paladins can sense evil intent. And she's not clocking up anything, so...
Yeah, all that I could pick up from her is that she wants to start a new life.
Exactly.
Yes.
And to be honest,
Does
if we
she
get
have
our sticky claw on this loot, I'd say a couple of 100 platinum pieces would probably help her.
One.
Thing that I find very particular about her is her constant insistence that she is perfectly normal.
She's as normal as any of us are. Which is
Yes.
not at all.
Yes.
Look, like
Yeah.
I said, I didn't. I would have picked up if she would have been a problem. She's not going to be a problem.
I am not saying that she's a problem, but I would appreciate knowing at least a little bit more.
No,
Well,
that's her business to tell you guys if there is.
What do
Hey!
you think, Rascal?
yeah, person who was recently puking up their guts here. Hello, hi.
I
Look, she's under our roof. She can hold her own in a fight. And
Well-
I don't want Captain Vizan to have a spot. She could take his. There we go.
Well,
Yeah, there we go. And then
we would have to give it.
She
We would have
cast
to
darkness
give-
and ran away.
Yeah,
Mads-
Rascal's setting the bar real low.
Mads,
He's really trying to say like, sorry Vizan, can't have you back on Team Small.
yeah, and then Mads runs down and calls out, "Hey, Lala, Lala, come up, Lala."
Well, Mads is doing that thing. Strong group goes. So yeah, I got a little plan for our unusual friend. He kind of pats to his pocket where the stone is.
Do know that he probably knows your plan.
Oh yeah, he
Lala?
knows. Why do you think I
Lala?
got such a nice breakfast?
As Mads calls out to Nola, Nola kind of fumbles the peanuts and spills a whole lot over the floor and kind of jumps over a chair and tries to pick him up and gets mostly dirt and pebbles on the floor and it's a whole mess.
Stop it, Lola. Lola, come on, come upstairs. We need you.
By me.
Yeah, you, because you're the special guest of honor.
I am.
Isn't that right, Gordane?
If you say so.
Pretty much. He just slowly blinks and nods. He's still looking at the empty glass, a little confused. But as she walks away, as Nula gets up to start to walk away, he just starts cleaning it up as if she was a normal patron.
Sorry. That's I didn't mean. That's I would give you a tip, but I have no money. Bye.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We make sure that all of our employees are taken care of. Now, come on.
As they come back upstairs, they hear Bing just going. So yeah, I reckon if I make him into a sensualist, he might get a little bit bored.
What?
Let's just say I'm gonna blow his mind with pleasure.
I
Wait,
am not
well,
sure
okay then.
how I want to take this plan.
Well, I have to eat.
Anyway.
Might as well make sure it's something nice.
You want to have him experience pleasure.
At this moment, Nola walks in the door and she turns around and tries to walk back out.
Come here.
Not so fast, Nola.
I don't want to interrupt anything.
Well,
Anything. We're just
You
I-
can't interrupt a party that's for you.
For me?
Yeah, a party for you. Come on, sit down.
Why was a party for me?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
yeah, look, can we give the lady a moment to breathe and explain
Yes,
our
I'm-
offer?
Yeah.
I'm definitely breathing.
I've never heard someone breathe so well. You should be very proud.
Thank you very much. I have a lot of practice.
Now then, Nola, you made it quite clear yesterday you didn't have a home, and I presume that means you don't have a job either.
I think that's true.
Well, if you don't mind a lot of danger and the potential risk of death, we have a job for you.
He's really selling this, isn't he?
Rascal Skyreach is not a liar.
Bing discreetly his mind goes, yeah, he may need a little help selling this.
I'm naturally afraid of death.
Well, aren't
So
we
is
all?
everyone, but rest assured, we have you. You are in very capable hands.
Yeah.
You might have you heard of Rascal's Rescuers since you have arrived in the city?
Oh,
Well, in that case, We are the Haskell's Rescuers. We have been a boon to the city, and we would like to welcome you among us.
Yeah, we have a free
well,
opening.
Yeah, we have an opening. We're
There might be an
really good at
imposter.
rescuing people. Sorry.
I'm not sure if I'm the right person for what you're proposing between
at the
the
very
drop of
least-
treasure and openings.
Oh no, that's a side project that I'm working on my own.
Yeah, we're just mostly spend all of our time rescuing people and killing monsters.
And of course, running owning this tavern.
Killing monsters. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, you have been
bad
able
guy.
to.
Only kill evil creatures.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're heroes. We
Where's
only
the
kill evil things.
fun in that?
I guess I can come along if that's okay.
Oh, we would be more than happy to have you.
Yeah, we're not gonna make you do anything. I just wanted to be honest about what the kind of mess you're gonna end up getting yourself in.
What? Look,
I'm not gonna lie to her.
And you know what? You know what? You know what? With you on board, Hunter and I and you can have sleepovers.
Yeah, that's something I do.
mm,
What do you say, Hunter? We can all like cuddle up in a big blanket and talk about nobles.
I'm not so good with the touching.
Oh, well,
Hunter's
that's okay then.
Hunter's just rolling her eyes and shaking her head.
Again, you don't really have to do anything you don't want to do.
No, I was just throwing out ideas. But we'd really like to have you.
Please,
I'll think about it.
I don't have anything else for it. Okay.
Yeah.
look, it is at least a start.
Please stay and center yourself and figure out what you want out of life.
I don't want auto life. I want into life.
More puzzling looks.
I am very. I just want to do a living do.
Creature, I love the fact you brought like a character who does not want to be involved into this game. Like, you're really making us work to integrate you.
It's wonderful.
Look,
Seriously.
letter. I am not going to lie. There will be some moments that are about as lively as the encounter we had yesterday.
Oh, life is good. I'm like.
They say the closer you are to death, the more you appreciate life, the more alive you feel.
I feel alive all the time, especially with you by my side, sweetie.
Ah,
I wouldn't know anything about being anywhere near close to death, but again, if I don't know anymore. I guess.
I mean, with the Kenku, you were at least in danger of death.
I was super gonna rescue you, you know.
Oh yeah, that's very nice. It's appreciated. I'm very attached to my neck.
So, tell us about yourself.
My name is Nola, and I breathe and eat and sleep, and I like to do things and.
What's your favorite color?
Mads, don't push her.
Okay, I'm trying. I was
Sometimes,
just trying to be friendly.
sometimes I pee.
and with that, I officially think we're done with this topic.
Okay.
No offense. Right.
And at that point, Mads looks over at Rascal and says, "Should I fill her in on what's going on?"
Meanwhile, in Bing's head, well, the awkwardness of that exchange was completely tangible. I almost sink my teeth into it.
Oh, Bing, in his head, Bing goes, Oh, so you're a bit of a voyeur, huh?
You're very, very weird.
Oh god, the things
Well,
that this guy would have seen in Rascal's head.
It is obvious
God,
that
I
I
didn't
am
even think of
rock
that.
hard.
And as I say, Bing also goes, also, pink, a little bit too gaudy, I think.
Oh, really? Well, we'll just have to fix that, won't we? Bing remains pink, but occasionally some of his scales turn bright, bold primary colours. He now looks like a bedazzled disco ball.
Nice.
Well, Bing, what did you tell him this time?
Just talk about staying alive.
Can we ask new questions now?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Oh, if you must.
But, I think we could probably save this bit for when we get to Mert.
Well,
I think we should decide what we tell Mert or not.
Actually,
Yeah.
let me just check something real quick.
a 1d3.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
What?
It has one charge. The restored.
Okay, does Bing know that?
Yes.
Look, we only got one question, and if it's information that Mert can help us with, then it would be a good idea to have him know.
Well, we can always tell him after, but I think we should still ask now.
Okay. But in that
And-
case, I want Hunter and Rascal. I'm gonna repeat whatever he says to me. I need you both to write it down. Okay?
Gotcha, buddy.
So what do we know so far? We know where it is, and we know there's a gold dragon. I
We
thought that was
know-
what we needed to get in, but
No, we need to know what items we need to bring to get in. What keys we need.
yeah. So
Okay.
do that one again.
Okay. Vin's gonna clear his throat. Just go.
Have you tried to turn it off and on again? That usually works with magical doors.
Okay. I'm gonna compel you now to tell me the truth. What keys or items are we going to need to open the vault door?
Oh, you're no fun. Fine. As I told your forgetful companion, you need 3 items to be presented to the door. They only need to be within 5 feet of the door. You don't need to go and smear them all over it like a chimpanzee.
Within
First
5 feet of the
item-
door?
What?
Sorry, I'm relaying it to them as we're speaking.
Oh. Well,
We need to get them within 5 feet of the door.
well, you need to bring the items to that distance, but yes. You need a Beholder Eye Stalk as the first key.
Beholder eye stock,
Then you will need a Severed Drow Hand.
severed drow hand,
And lastly, a Beardless Dwarf.
a beardless dwarf.
Alive or dead, it doesn't matter. As long as they're there.
Dwarf baby.
That is quite possible, yes.
Possibly me.
Also, dwarf woman.
Nope.
Well, if you've seen some of the Dwarven women I have, then they don't necessarily qualify.
Well,
That
oh,
is
we
actually
could- oh,
true. That is actually true. Some dwarven women do qualify as bearded. But for argument's sake, we'll just say beardless dwarf, regardless of gender.
I guess we could always find one who would be willing to shave for a few gold.
Then you get into it. Then you get into a problem. Then you get into
Yeah,
a problem.
he would.
because
That dwarf would probably introduce your face to his axe.
Ah,
I,
say
for
more
one,
sorry.
am all for the kidnapping a Dwarven baby plan. That sounds so fun.
Ugh.
To
well,
be fair, we do have someone we could ask.
Oh?
Not about taking the baby,
Oh.
but we
Mad
do
pout.
know. But if we could find a way to get in contact with her, we do know a dwarven woman who could be of help to us.
Huh.
The fact that
Okay.
you're almost sing-songing that clue makes me think there might be something a little bit more to the issue. I, for one, am still
More
kidnapping
I'm
a child.
trying not drop. No, it's more I'm trying to drop the hint to everyone that we know a certain scientist who had the stone to begin with.
But she's currently under the sea.
Yeah, she's on an expedition, Bing.
True, but if we could find some way getting in contact with her,
I have a scroll of sending, but that's intended for
I
her.
don't think she's a dwarf.
oh, well, she
Yeah.
was.
And Mad says,
Hang on, I
plus
need
if
to
you
double
shave a dwarf, then the door could just say back, I don't know, those look like whiskers to me. And I don't think that it's shaved enough. And then we have to stand around while the person shaves again, and the door goes, I don't know, not close enough.
Mad. We said
Yeah.
if we find a dwarf who's stupid enough to go to a barber, the barber will shave them clean. That the door will not be able to say, no, they're whiskers, no. There is a little bit of beach buzz.
You know
Yes,
how
I'm
doors
freshly
feel,
shaved.
Ashward? You know
I
how
would
doors feel?
say out of the 3 items, the shaved dwarf is the hairless dwarf is probably one of the easiest thing to get.
I'll get the hand.
Exactly. It's the eye stock. I'm not too happy. I mean,
Oh, that's easy. That shop.
Yeah, he's gonna give that to us.
Oh, man.
Right. You
I-
weren't there
I-
for that, were you, Bing?
To answer your question, Grinda is a human. She's not a dwarf.
fair enough.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean-
a shop run by a gnome. They had a stuffed beholder in the window. Yeah, it had divination magic on it. So it was spying on people. I informed Mert.
If we
Well,
I
can
was
get
thinking more of didn't we used to have? I suppose we could always ask. Oh no, Penfold's probably already.
And that's a gazer, not a beholder.
that,
I know
never-
it's very specific.
Yeah, I was just thinking out loud on that, but yeah.
It might actually be. It would possibly even work with a gazer or what the teenager version of the beholder is called.
Yeah, I
What's
mean-
it again?
Spectator.
Yes, a spectator.
Pretty sure this is very specific for a reason.
Uh,
Oh. It's not as if something terrible will happen if you present the wrong items.
it's not like the player doesn't know what awaits us.
Yeah, just I know there's one particular beholder in this town who's pretty big and nasty.
Well,
No, you don't know that that big
don't
X
know that.
is
Good point. Good
I
point.
mean, Rascal knows. I mean, the only
Rascal-
living beholder I know of. Not confirmed till I see him up close, of course, but that would be Xanathar himself, and we're not gonna get that.
I'm
you
not
weren't given
certain
any
that we
hints
will.
at what Xanathar's true nature was.
No, but Rascal basically figured it out.
Yeah, Rascal said that.
Rascal is of the opinion and is not
Yeah.
to be swayed.
Rascal was
Whether or
like,
not that is true, well,
Just to save everyone arguing, I already did the rewind sound, so.
well, I will.
Seriously, if
No.
no one in the universe can figure out what the Xanathar is from all the obvious tells, come on.
Rascal in character did have a moment when he had a little rant and was like, "Look, this is their symbol. This is the thing there. I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility that."
yes,
Yeah, especially
it's
when
not
like Ashwood basically backed up the idea that gazers are like beholder babies.
Yes. Okay. Still, do you let us go with your hypothesis that Xanathar is actually a beholder?
And one thing I need to know
Do you
about
want?
that.
Do you want? Do you
Hold on.
want?
Hold on, Ashford. I need to ask the GM something. Are you good with Rascal having had that rant, Turnus?
She didn't stop me at the time.
It's a conspiracy theory for sure.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't know
Okay,
for
go ahead.
sure. The
Either
only
way,
beholder type thing you know of to exist for certain was the gazers and the one that was in the window of old Zebulb's shop.
You.
well, like I was saying, we know that there is a beholder nearby, but yeah, I don't really fancy my chances up against one of those things.
Sensible.
So the stuffed one would probably be our best bet.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just ask Mert for help. Mert can help us get that, and then we can easily get the dwarf baby, and then
Hang on.
We're not getting a dwarf baby.
Mert
Oh,
might
that's
actually
no
know a beardless
fun.
dwarf. And Mert might also enable us to get a severed hand of a drow, because it doesn't have to be a living drow. There might be one in a mortuary somewhere. So we just need to
Exactly.
take a
Or it
hand.
could have been a drow that needed an amputation.
we can go
Shockingly,
talk to Mert.
we have friends who can help us out here, guys, because we're hoppers.
Good
Remember
idea,
that.
Rascal.
What
Good idea,
friends
Rascal.
do you know that has a number of severed hands lying around?
A handyman.
Just saying. Just saying. To say. Yeah, we need to decide on a name for you. But yeah, a surgeon could possibly have one, or a doctor of some description, or a medical teacher.
Sorry, handyman tickled me.
Just saying, there's logical ways we can go around getting a severed hand without having to kill anyone.
Mads kind of slumps. Yeah, you guys are right. Let's go tell Mert though. Let's go tell Mert now.
Yeah, before we run off, there are other matters we need to discuss.
What's that, Rascal?
Well, okay.
Before we move on, make sure you two are written down. Bring one beholder eye stock, one drow hand in brackets severed, one beardless dwarf within 5 feet of the vault door.
Yep, got all that. Above game, the only thing that's still blacked out that I wrote down was the name of the dragon itself, because that has not been cleared back up.
Yep.
Okay, that's all written down, Bing. We got everything we need.
Okay.
Alright, so, yeah.
I think.
Sure, it's not escaped anyone's attention by now that we are being actively pursued at every turn by the Xanathar Guild and the Zentarim. And that includes Captain Vizan.
Yeah.
Now, while we can deal with this bullshit, I'm concerned about our staff and patrons.
Me too. I've been thinking about that, Rascal. That's
be
why I'm glad
honest-
Penfold is there.
To be honest, I think since the Zentarim are currently in the employ of the city to hunt down the Xanathar Guild, we may not be as high a priority.
Yeah, but you don't know Vizan. He'll do anything to get his hands on gold.
Look at it this way, Vizan we at least know.
Yeah, that doesn't present me much comfort.
True, but at the same time, as long as the Zentarim think he has an eye on us, we don't have to worry about them.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
I do
I'd
too.
say Xanathars are the bigger threat. I mean,
Of course
But-
he does. It's just Vizan terrifies me because he's an immediate threat that gets close to my wife and my unborn child.
Mads wiggles in her seat happily.
I'm
true,
sorry,
but
it's just that-
at the same time, I would say we're not the only thing on the plates of either organization.
Yeah, I know, but as far as they know, we have the stone! And we do have the stone.
Well, they know we have the stone.
They know Matt has the stone.
Exactly.
We didn't-
And she looks around and says, and I want to keep it that way. They know I have it.
Well, okay. It's Okay, fine. I'll accept that. Whatever. I'm still worried about our staff more than anything. They
We
could
need
be
to protect them.
targeted. Mm-hmm.
I think we should go to Penfold and ask for more security help.
That would be a good idea.
Will that
And-
be enough, do you think? I mean, what about
And-
escorting them home at the end of the day?
She says, I'm thinking that, plus we ask Mert for help with the tavern too.
Now that I can get behind 110%.
We tell him, in exchange, he helps the tavern, we work together, the understanding that the Harpers will get their share.
I mean, we promised them that anyway.
Right, I mean, with
The
that
Harpers will
promise-
do it just because they're good people.
I know, sweetie.
I just feel like I have to press that point every so often.
You don't, honey, I trust them. And she means it 100%.
I'm glad someone does. Sometimes it seems like you guys would really rather be working with Zents.
Need I remind you, I'm Harper as well?
You are exempt from that.
And to think there was a time when I was gonna cook Mert and feed him to the orphans.
Well, I'm glad that time has passed, sweetie. You've come a long way.
Completely in the past.
Yes, as you can tell, Miss Scaletta, we're not the usual fare of adventurers.
Yeah, I have a number of questions.
All right,
Sure.
you sit
Go
down.
for your questions.
What are you talking about?
All right.
To be fair, she does have a point. She has no context of what's going on here, and it's delicious.
Okay, you guys, you'd best fill her in. Yeah, we really do need to think of a name for this guy in my head.
Well, if he's
Well,
Smart
if you
Alex sounds
call
like a
me-
good start.
If you must call me something, you may as well call me Glor. Unless you want to call me Master.
That one's not gonna happen.
What? What name? What name, Bing?
what?
Well,
isn't
he's
going to
suggesting
happen?
Galore. We could always call him Mr. Jim Jams.
How about Gorlor?
As you say, Mr. Jam Jams,
Jim Jams.
Jim Jams, you suddenly shoot several inches in height and your spine is in agony. And you hear the voice, "Never call me that again.
Okay, fine.
Good boy." And you return to your normal height, a lot slower, so it's uncomfortable but not as painful.
Well, the good news is I'm probably never gonna have sciatica.
Does he do that often?
No,
No, that would be
just
juice in the
recently.
stone.
I have a lot.
All right, then ask away.
I would say this is a good place to stop over, as we're now rolling up on 11. So I would say this would be a good point for you to basically fill in your companion over the course of the quote-unquote few hours. So we'll leave that there this evening. He's found out some interesting information. So,
Boy,
oh, yous are gonna have some fun now, gathering the keys, locating the vault.
Oh boy.
And I wonder if Bing's new passenger will have
Well.
delightful conversations they'll have. Also, I really enjoyed that you try to freak him out with your kinks.
Yeah.
Well,
Stop trying to disgust the creature in your head.
it is a very
Bing wasn't trying to use kinks. He was trying to use food.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Amazing.
Well, that's what it started out. Anyway, so with that, it's going to be Actually, no, first off, there was no real plays or fails of the game, aside from Dear Cork's hit dice.
Aside from me, yes. Aside from me, not really relaxing as much.
Bing deciding to call the impossibly powerful Eldritch Abomination Mr. Jim Jams.
Yeah, it was definitely a fail.
I nearly had your spine
I was
snapped for
indeed.
your thing.
I'd say that's a play. Try to get it to sing potato.
That was also amusing.
Yeah.
Which is why Ashwood was singing from outside the door in a response. Not very good, but he tried.
Questions, theories, or comments?
Dear God, what are we in for?
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, we're dealing with an ancient, unfathomable evil now, guys. What the fuck?
And a creature that claims to be older than the dragons.
Yes, he claims he is.
He said a lot. You don't know if he's telling you the truth or not, and that's what's great about it.
Yes.
So, going down the list, it's going to be a good night from me, a good night from our little rascally boy.
Good night, everyone. Rascal forgot everything that could have been important.
Yes,
Fantastic.
A good night from our perfectly normal human creature.
So I'm glad that I'm accepted and I'm breathing a deep sigh of relief.
Dust and spiders come flying from her mouth.
Yeah.
A good night from our overly protective mama bear in creation, D.
Stay away from my husband.
A good night from our ever suspicious Ashward, Dear Cork.
I am not always suspicious, but there are a few things that don't seem to add up. Still, have all a good night.
A good night from our strong silent type, I see.
Good night, everyone. Sorry I wasn't talkative this episode.
That's alright. If you're not feeling it, there's no need to force yourself if you don't want to. And lastly, a good night from someone who's having an unfathomable entity in his head far too lightly. Begging Sephi Wolf.
Why don't you go where fashion sits?
I'm not doing this with you.
Night.
I'm glad Bing took this dude off Rascal's hands, because Bing's taken to it like a moth to a flame. It's like, no, I don't give a shit. Whereas Rascal would have been very troubled.
To be fair, he's from the Feywild. He's used to unusual crap happening.
Yeah. Alrighty then. So that's going to be it. And I'll see y'all on Tuesday night.
Yep.
Excuse me, I've been yawning all night. I'm sorry. Where we will finally get back to... My head has exploded. Into the maelstrom. There we are.
Yes.
Into the maelstrom. I am too goddamn tired. Into the maelstrom with Sephi.
You just realised how much buff panther chest Squish is going to wake up in.
Oh, we've missed
Finally!
We've missed the distressed goblin noises, and now we get to enjoy the de-stressed goblin noises.
Yes.
Alright, so we'll see y'all on Tuesday for some more D&D shenanigans. Until then, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.